What's up guys, welcome to the channel. So if you clicked on this video, you're probably looking to buy an A1 motorcycle and you've seen the Yamaha MT-125. Now you're wondering, is it really worth your money? I'm Yochiri, and after 3 years of riding this bike, I've got 5 reasons why you should buy the Yamaha MT-125. Starting off with reason number 1, the looks. This was a big reason for choosing this bike. I wanted something that I thought looked good, and I love the look of this generation. Especially the headlight, because in my opinion the headlight can really make or break a motorcycle, and I prefer this design over the 2020 LED version because it looks like the bike has more character, and other people seem to love it too, because just yesterday some guy in the gym complimented me on my bike, and last week at the car wash a biker complimented me and she thought it was an MT-07, and probably because of the aero exhaust, which sounds and looks way better than stock. Here, let's have a listen. The bike is a bit cold, so I'll take it easy today. Let's also take a look at the display real quick. It's one of the best features of this bike. It shows everything a beginner needs. You've got your speed, you've got the RPM, you've got your fuel gauge, the temperature, the time even, and you also have a service reminder for your oil change. Every 3000 kilometer it will start blinking. If it had a gear indicator, this would have been perfect. But what's the point of buying a nice looking motorcycle if it spends more time in the shop than on the road? And that's where the second reason comes in: build quality and reliability. Because there's nothing that makes me hate riding as much as having to deal with maintenance problems. If you do your maintenance yourself, you will pay with your mental stability and time. But if you're going to the shop, you're going to be paying with your wallet. And I've read a lot of horror stories about electrical issues and engine failures from different motorcycle brands, but I'm mainly talking about you, KTM. However, Yamaha is, along with Honda, one of the most reliable motorcycle brands, and they have a reputation for building bikes that are solid and dependable, and the MT-125 is no exception. This bike now has 40,000 kilometers and it's still doing perfectly fine. I've only had a couple of problems with this bike, but I'll leave that for another video. So if you're curious about the details, make sure to hit the subscribe button because you don't want to miss it. Let's move on to reason number 3, the fuel consumption. If you're 18 like I was at the time of buying my bike, you've just gotten your license, maybe some gear, but you're not swimming in money and you're most likely broke. So you're gonna want to keep your riding budget friendly, and fuel consumption is something you need to consider, because this is another advantage of the MT-125. This bike is super fuel efficient. As you can see, my bike gets around 44 km per liter, which is just amazing. And I've had days where I was completely out of fuel, and filling up this whole bike cost me like 20 euros for 10 liters, and that's close to the maximum fuel size of 11 liters. That's enough to keep you going for weeks, even with a mix of hard city riding and highway cruising. Because of that, I started using my bike for everything. It doesn't matter if it's a quick trip to the store or just having coffee with friends. Okay, maintenance costs. Because just like fuel, you probably don't want to spend your money on a lot of motorcycle maintenance, but unfortunately, doing maintenance is a must. Fortunately, with the right tools, you can do most of it yourself. And since the MT-125 is a naked bike, you have an easier time doing maintenance, and that's mainly because you don't have to take the fairings off or something. So when you're just starting out, you probably want to try to do some simple things like chain adjustments and maybe oil changes, but tire replacements, chain replacements, and huge maintenance like the valves, that's where you're gonna need a mechanic. Now here's the thing with the MT-125, maintenance is a lot cheaper, and because it's a 125cc, the parts are cheaper to buy and they just last longer. And because of the acceleration, which is non-existent, their chain and tire and brakes take longer to wear, and because you're not riding on the highway all the time, which you shouldn't be doing on a 125 anyway, oil changes will also not be as frequent. Long story short, more money for you, less money spent on maintenance, and that's pretty nice. Reason number 5, the bike is very comfortable. The upright handlebars and the neutral foot pegs let you ride however you want, relaxed or a bit more aggressive. I prefer the aggressive riding position. You are gonna feel some pressure on your wrist, but you can get used to it. You can always sit upright. Seat does push you towards the tank a little bit, but I like that, it keeps you engaged. And with an inseam of 810mm, it also doesn't feel like a toy bike. I myself am 186 centimeter and I fit just fine, and as long as you're above 170 centimeter and maybe below 190 centimeter, you'll be just fine. I've done 2-hour trips on this bike with my friend on the back as a passenger, and it was completely comfortable for me. My friend, however, he could barely walk. The passenger seat is very stiff, but that's not my problem. But it might want to be something you want to consider if you're planning on riding with a passenger. And there you have it, guys, 5 reasons why you should buy the MT-125. But what I haven't talked about is the highway performance of this bike. So if you're interested and you're planning on riding on the highway, you might want to know that, and you can click this video. I'll see you there. And if you got any questions about MT-125, just let me know. If you found this helpful, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button, and I'll see you guys later.